Hello.
Good evening. Welcome to Air2Ground Farms. I'm Shelly.
I'm Rich.
We are live on Monday night. What is the date? September the 22nd.
Happy fall.
Yes, it is. Kind of feels like it might want to be. I mean, I wouldn't go out there right now. I don't know. But this morning it felt really great.
Yeah. We cooled off, which was very nice.
Yeah, it did.
No longer in the 90s.
And with the cool off,
Drum roll.
drum roll. That was my best drum roll. It rained.
We got some rain over the past 2 days. We've had 2.5 inches.
Yes. In the rain gauge. Like that's what it caught. And it kind of sits tilted. I wonder if we would have caught more if it was straight.
I have a pessimistic rain gauge.
Well, you have an optimistic wife. We offset each other. And man, when we woke up this morning, it was a little kind of foggy.
It was very foggy for a while.
Yeah. Foggy, kind of cool. Still had on a short sleeve shirt, but man, it felt really great to be out there this morning and it not be so hot.
Yeah. On Saturday, we got about just under a half an inch of rain, so that last night when it rained overnight, the 2 inches that we got, a little over 2 inches, it didn't just run off. It actually was able to soak in. So that's very, very nice.
Yeah, and things are just, you could already see just from the little bit that we got and then to today, the grass, there were some places that were just crispy, but boy, you can really see the grass starting to want to come up and want to green up. And what was already there, I just know that it's going to take off in the next couple of days.
Yeah, really greened up. And like already we've got little clovers like popping up.
Yay.
I know.
Oh, man. And then we're going to get more. There's more in the forecast. In fact, we went from drought and dry and it felt like we lived in a desert. Sarah texted me the other day and she was like, it feels like we live in a desert. And I'm like, I know. It felt like this in Idaho all the time. Mm-hmm. And literally like an hour ago, we got flood warnings.
Yeah.
For Ava. They say you're always 2 weeks from drought and 20 minutes from flood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Ozarks, for sure.
Seems like, that's the way it is. But we're really grateful for it and we're not going to complain.
No, not at all. The weather, so the temperature's cooled off. We got some rain. It's feeling much, much nicer for sure.
Yes. With that, we took our last batch of chickens last week,
Thursday morning, delivered them to the processor.
So another 150-ish birds.
Yeah, 152.
Yep.
If you missed it, we put out a video Saturday morning of us loading those chickens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. Just how we load them, the equipment that we use, our techniques, all that type of thing, just for how do you get them out of a chicken tractor with a kind of a solid roof that's only 2 feet tall. And
we used to climb around in the chicken manure.
Chicken crap is not
laying on our bellies. Oftentimes that was Michaela's job. She would crawl in on her belly.
That was fun.
Shoe the chickens.
That was great when she was like 9.
Yeah.
And now she's my size and doesn't appreciate having to do that anymore.
Nobody does.
So we had to figure out a new way, and we did. So go check that video out.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen it already. So with the rain, we have our piglets. Our piglets are, say, like 75 pounds. And we have them in a location in the woods, which you might have seen it on the tour that I gave you guys on the farm tour video. But we have them in an area that we believe was an old pond.
Used to be at one point.
That's dried up and filled in and just kind of a dish, not real pond-like. But you can definitely tell it might hold water. So Farmhand Huck has done an amazing job of putting the piglets there, putting their water in there. They're rooting it around, packing it down, and
if you didn't know,
can really make a pond.
Pigs seal your pond for you.
Yeah.
And we've never done it, though.
No.
We like most of the things here on the farm, we read about it, we researched it,
Right.
How do you seal a pond? And the number one answer is pigs.
Get pigs.
So we have pigs. Yeah. And we found a pond in the pig area.
And we're like, oh,
And
goodness.
we're like, let's try it.
Let's try it. So check this out. Water. Now, it's much bigger than what you... Undo that. Okay.
There.
It's much bigger than what you see there. It actually goes about double onto the side where the pigs are standing over there. But that's the amount of water that we're currently able to hold. And before that, it wasn't holding anything.
Oh, it was just leaves. And that's a 55-gallon barrel. So you can see that it's almost a foot deep right now, right there at their water barrel. And Huck has been taking a bucket of water every time he goes down and feeds them. He's been taking a bucket of water out of their water barrel and moving it to different areas in the pond. And that just really encourages them to root it up. And so they're rooting and they lay in it and they seal the pond. I mean, it's just what pigs do.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool, taking something that's wasn't usable or wasn't doing anything, a piece of land, and turning it into something. Let's get to some comments. Let's say good evening to everybody.
Okay.
Who's with us?
Who's with us? Well,
happy Monday, everybody.
Air2Ground Farms says happy Monday.
Yes, you did.
Carol says howdy from Philly.
Hi there.
Howdy, Carol. We've got Phil from Washburn. Hey, Phil. Good evening, everyone. Charlie Kirk's memorial gives me hope for our country. We watched the whole thing yesterday.
We did. We sat for about 6 hours and watched the entire thing. And
we don't sit for 6 hours to do
no,
anything.
But we did for that. Here was my thinking. I thought if the entire administration in the government, the president and the vice president to be included, can show up for what's happening, I can sit and spend the same amount of time that these guys are spending, who are far more important than I, and watch and see what's going on. And it makes me hopeful too.
Yeah. Farmhand Huck says hello from the top of the hill.
What's up?
Mary says wonderful rain. She got it as well.
Nice.
Yes, awesome. Kathy says wonderful rain here as well. After 6 weeks of no rain, it is much appreciated.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been that long, at least for us as well. Man, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Becca's also saying hello.
Hey, Becca.
Anna says good evening.
Good evening.
And that was a great way to load the chickens. Your crates looked like they were brand new. They were so clean.
They're fairly new. I mean, we got them at the beginning of the season, so they've only been used like 11 times. But the place where we take them, they do spray them out. We pay them like $1.50 a crate so that they're clean-ish when they get put back into the truck.
They're clean.
They're clean.
I don't even know if I would call them clean-ish.
Yeah, so
they're definitely clean-er.
Typically, Huck is the one who will, go behind, unload them, spray them, and make them actually clean because we have to handle these things. Or if they're still, Rich and I sprayed them the other day. But at any rate, we get them clean and then we actually put them onto a pallet. If you're wondering how we store them, we put them on a pallet, stack them too high, all the way up. Too wide, as high as they'll go.
Yeah.
And then we use our pallet jack to drive them around the barn. And that way we can just store them in the back side of the barn. And it works great.
Yeah, it does.
Now, I don't know where we're going to put them till next June. Huck, you have a project. Find out a place to put those crates up high. I think we need to go up.
We could put them down, but we'd have to cover them with a tarp or something to keep them out of the sun.
Oh, right. No,
We'll
you're
see.
right.
We could put them in the rafters of the barn.
Oh, we talked about putting them down with the big pile of farm things.
Either way.
Yeah,
In
we
the
got to store
rafters-
them.
In
We
the
got to find
rafters
somewhere to
would
store 'em.
work. It would just be a bit to get them up there.
Yeah, true.
Carol says, what do you mean by seal the pond?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So just because there's a hole in the ground or a divot in the earth doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to hold water long term, right?
That's right. And around here, especially with our rocky soil, it drains rather quickly. And we have a lot of clay, but if the person digging the pond doesn't dig it in the right spot or go to the right depth, it may not have a clay bottom. And if the divot or hole in the ground doesn't have a clay bottom,
Yeah. It won't hold water. It'll drain out. And you'll see ponds or things that are supposed to be ponds and holding water, and you'll see that they're not, they're kind of empty. It's because either they didn't put it in the right spot or they didn't get to clay. It just didn't get sealed up good enough to hold that water.
Yeah. And the pigs, they do a great job. For one thing, they pack the dirt in, they lay in it, they
make their waller.
They really, really do seal the pond.
They just literally
so that
seal it.
It will then hold water. So when the pigs moved into that area, the reason that we would even bring it up, when the pigs moved in, there was no water. Like, it wasn't because it hadn't rained. It was because the pond was not holding water. It would just drain right out. And now, after the first rain with the pigs being in there, it is now holding water.
Now we'll see if it holds long term.
Yeah, we'll see.
But they're pigs.
I have a feeling knowing what the
really
puddles look like.
Everywhere pigs go, they know how to make a pond.
Yeah.
If there's water around where their water is, if it leaks and they know how to make water leak, they will make their own pond. And it doesn't matter where the pigs are. If there's water, it stays there.
If they can't figure out how to make it leak, they'll splash it out. Like,
they love it.
They are gonna make a pond. Kim Markham says, "Hey, y'all from North Carolina."
Hi, Mom.
Our friends, Kevin and Sarah, say hi, friends.
Hi.
Hi, Living Traditions
Homestead in the house.
We really appreciate you being here. Lisa says, "Hey, Shelley and Rich, Stan and I just finished eating some Air2Ground pork. Yummy."
Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hey, the picture you guys sent of the burgers, we're going to use that on our Facebook page for sure.
On their Freedom Grill?
On their Freedom Grill.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Then we've got Old School Nana saying hello from the RV next door.
Hi, Nana.
Your mom says we watched it all too. What a revival in our country.
Oh, yeah. The memorial. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
For sure.
Angel's Homestead says, "Sorry I'm late. Hubby just got home, but hey."
That's right. Hey, glad you're with us.
Xana says, hello from Central Texas.
Hi there. Good evening.
Farmhand Huck says, I'll get on that.
Thanks.
About the chicken crates.
Yeah.
Patty says, hey, chicken wranglers.
Right. Yeah, it kind of turns into that. You did a good job. I was videoing that day.
Yeah. And it says, I watched from the opening prayer all the way through. Yes, with all the candlelight vigils and the applications for new Turning Point chapters, it is hopeful news.
Mm-hmm.
And the candlelight vigils all around the world was an exceptional response.
Yeah, there's definitely a worldwide response to what has happened. And most of it is most of what I enjoy seeing, obviously, is the positive stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Homestead Jude says, hi from West Virginia.
Good evening. So we want to take you guys, continue down our journey of building this farm. And when we left off last week, what did Lisa say?
That Stan made the pork chops on the same grill as the burgers.
Oh, fantastic. So when we left off on our journey last week, we had talked about our sheep, I believe it was, getting some pigs, growing out pork. Yep. And to carry that on, when we started farming, we knew for sure, for sure, we wanted cows.
Yeah, to us though, cows were a bit more of a commitment. Like the size of the animal, just all the things required and the breed that we wanted.
Having grown up, we both grew up in Okeechobee, Florida. And Okeechobee is a very small rural town at the top of the largest lake in Florida, Okeechobee. And in that town, it is an agricultural community with a high population of cattle. One of the largest livestock markets in the country. That they do a lot of beef through there. Anyway, so we grew up around cows. For crying out loud, our mascot was a Brahma. That's right. A Brahma bull. So y'all had cows. My parents had cows. like we know cows, right? But we have not had a lot of hands-on at this point in our life, a lot of hands-on experience with actual animal husbandry with cattle. But we knew in our minds what it was kind of going to take. So we had some apprehension because of the size, and it's two of us.
Right. And we knew that we wanted red Devon. We knew that because we had ordered a whole beef when we were living in the Washington, D.C. suburbs. And we got our beef and tasted the steaks, and we were just blown away at the flavor of this beef. So we called the farmer, very small, just really getting started out doing a farm to consumer type business.
She was not a cow. She didn't have cows. She didn't have babies. She just would get feeders. She would get stockers, and she would raise them until they were ready.
And we were like, what breed of animal was that we are eating? And she said red Devon. And we had never heard of it, but knew that we liked it. So as we were looking at different kinds of cattle breeds to get, we looked at all different kinds of the more heritage breeds that do well on grass only. We knew that we wanted the health benefits of grass-fed beef. So we wanted a breed that would do well on just grass. So we were looking at the belted Galloway and the red Devon because we liked the flavor. And there were just some other, a few different breeds that we looked into. And the more we read about and studied the red Devon, we were like, okay, we know that it tastes good for us. It matches what we want in a beef flavor profile. And then all of the other, do you want to talk through some of the other benefits? Yeah.
I was reading
characteristics.
I was reading a comment. Did you in my just for me? So did you say that they're good on that they perform really well on grass only?
Yes.
Okay. Whereas most of the people that we're around or have ever been around, they grow Angus. They grow black Angus, and most of the people around here do. We're kind of, I guess not the norm. Herefords and there's other things, but the primary thing is black Angus.
Yeah.
But they take a little bit of.
They do a lot.
They do a lot better if you finish them on grain.
At least finish them on grain, if not grow them in.
So we wanted something that was just hardy. They're easy moms. Like they calve really, really easy by themselves most of the time.
Yep.
They are great moms. They have a high butterfat content in their milk, so that grows those babies up really nicely. What's another? And they have a great temperament. They're not wild.
No,
they're not crazy. They're really calm. That's huge whenever you just got a small operation with a couple of people. He and I can do the cows by ourselves.
Our neighbor has Charlet, and he works them by himself. And he almost every time he works them, he has a story of running up a tree or running up his cow pens or whatever, because he's got a Charlet mama that's after him.
Yeah.
And Michaela's out here with us. We had a 9-year-old when we were starting this, and there's no way I want a cow that's going to chase a person like that. No. We did not want that at all. The Devons have the thickest hide of any cattle, which helps in the weather, because we knew that we weren't going to put them in a barn over the winter. They were going to stand out in the fields and maybe have some trees, So that was very beneficial as well. They actually came over to this country with the Pilgrims. They were a tri-purpose breed. They used them as oxen, as milk, and as meat. So they're certainly not a new one. They just sort of fell out of vogue with the more specialized cattle. You get a Holstein for milk, a Beefmaster for beef, and as the breeds kept getting more and more specialized, those sort of
dual purpose
breeds sort of fell out of favor.
But we loved them. You want to show them a picture?
Yeah, let's show a picture. So here's a close-up.
So that's the classic look of them. They kind of have, whenever they get their winter hair, when they put their fur on for the winter, some of them are kind of curly.
Yeah.
They have curly hair, and they'll have little curly bits on their forehead there. So that's the first day that we got our small little herd. I believe there were 8.
There were 8
in there.
And the
begin with,
guy that we got them from, he had some black genetics in there as well. So we do have some black cows, although, Red Devon, but we do have some black ones.
But here was the thing. We knew we wanted Red Devon, but where are we going to find them? And Facebook is not probably the place. But we were buying some sheep, and we ran across him.
The sheep we found on Craigslist, not Facebook.
The sheep that we found on Craigslist, whom I called him and I talked to him and we had quite conversation and all of this. Anyway, we were buying sheep from them, and he said, "Now let me know whenever you're ready for some bovine."
Well, we were talking about how much grass we had.
Oh yeah,
we're like, oh my gosh, we have so much grass right now. We don't we're just like overgrown, and I don't know that we can get enough sheep for grass. And he's like, well, you let me know when you're ready for some bovine.
And we said, well, we might be, soon. What kind do you have? And he said, well, and because everyone around here has Black Angus, and that's what everyone, that's what the market loves. He was like, well, Red Devon. And we looked at each other and we're like, what? It was serendipitous, if you will. And he's been our sort of mentor since. All of our herd, save a few we're about to talk about, have come from his herd. So it's the same herd that moved here a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's been closed since, except for.
Well, we picked up the steer from Kevin and Sarah.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
That was on a video. We talked about how we do partner with local farms.
I forgot about that.
The meat production. So we have one of their young Hereford steers is a part of our herd, growing out with the rest of our
Harry
steers.
the Hereford, in case anyone was wondering. His name is Harry.
We named him Harry because
he was hairy when he got here because it was winter. Or just at the end, and he still
his hair was a lot longer,
and it was longer, and it was curlier, and it was so cute.
Yeah,
and so we named him Harry the Hereford.
Yep.
Anyway,
before we get to our next cow discussion,
before we move on to the ones that didn't come from Larry,
Anna asks, "Largest lake in Florida? Large enough to be seen from the space station. Are there any other lakes that can be seen other than the Great Lakes?" I'm not sure.
So what I should have said was the second largest freshwater lake in the United States. Like, yes, it's 60 miles across, and it's huge. It's really large.
Yeah. So Lake Michigan is wholly in the United States, and Lake Okeechobee is number 2 as far as freshwater lakes go.
Yeah.
The Great Salt Lake is a bigger lake, but not freshwater.
And Lake Okeechobee is some of the premier largemouth bass fishing in the world.
Yep.
In fact.
Carol says, I held my first chicken at the Ozark Homesteaders Expo. It was exciting.
Oh, how cool.
She's referencing the chicken wranglers and the chicken video and loading the chickens.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad that you got to do that.
Yeah, me too. That's really cool. Phil asks, are you tanning the hides for leather?
From the cows? No. We don't get the hides.
No.
I don't even know if we can.
I'm not sure because we have our cows USDA processed.
Maybe we can.
I know
somebody's probably getting them.
I've seen folks come back and get the heads. I guess before they're a skull, they're a head, right? So I know that they will save them. A lot of processors will not give you the hides because they have contracts. Most of the cow hides in this country are crated up and shipped to China, where they are then turned into leather.
I didn't need to know that.
Oh,
I'm for real right now.
Forget I said that. No, Phil, we don't get our.
I'd probably have to buy it from them.
I think a lot of processors, you don't even have the option to buy it from them. We haven't asked.
I bet that's who's coming to pick up the heads too. Then it's probably somebody they've contracted.
No, these were some it was just a dude coming.
Oh.
There was one, he had come back around.
I don't really want anything that I. Okay.
Well, I was thinking there's that one steer out there that's got the bigger horns.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that'd be a cool looking skull.
It would be a
I
cool
bet
looking
Michaela
skull.
would like it. She likes that kind of stuff.
I'm still stumped here about my hides going to China.
So we talked to you about the livestock crooks that sort of took us on our sheep that we found on Facebook. We talked about that last week. We'll continue a little bit on that story with the cows. So we got these 8 initial Red Devon cattle, and we knew that we needed to grow the herd quicker than what we were going to have, because there were like 3 mamas in that 8. And so we knew that we're wanting to produce beef. We want to make meat, right? So we thought, well, we
Get
can
some
just,
bottle calves.
We can just buy some bottle calves,
Yeah.
so that the cost is low. Then, not now,
Yeah.
but so that the cost is low, and we can add more cows to our herd fairly cheaply, hopefully. So went back to that.
Well, you were on in all fairness, you were on Facebook, but it was in a group. It was Missouri. I think it was Missouri Bottle Calves or something.
Yeah.
It was one of the cow groups in Missouri. And people do a lot of posting and trading
lot of
of
it.
cows on there so that they don't have to go to the livestock market with them.
That's right.
And you can do okay there.
A lot of people don't want to buy or sell with the livestock market. There's
Right.
It just don't want to do it, right? Reasons. And
Well, mostly because you want to think that you know where they come from.
you think you know where they're coming from. You think you're avoiding the market fees.
And you think that you're avoiding the
potential
Right.
disease, and you don't know, you just don't know what you're getting. So if you go to a person, you know what you're getting. So there was an ad, have some bottle calves for sale. Called the lady, talked to her. Yep, these are calves that were orphans from our herd. They were rejected. Their moms were having issue ABC, whatever it was, and yep, from our herd. Grass, yep, grass only. Okay. So we drove a couple hours and went and saw the calves. They looked like calves. I don't know.
And they had land and it was in a barn and it all made sense,
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you got to make a decision.
There was a baldy, black with white face. There was a couple of black Angus, a red Angus, more of a Charolais Angus cross, and then a couple of heifers. There was like a red heifer and a black Angus heifer. So I believe we ended up buying 7, I think it was. Yeah, we bought 7 bottle calves
We lost 2
in
about a couple of months.
within a couple of months. We lost 2 of them, which really isn't uncommon for bottle calves.
No.
The thing about this was
What she
figured
said.
out, what we figured out later was she's flipping calves. She's going to the livestock market and buying bottle calves and then taking them to her house, marking up the price and selling them as her own.
And that was the part that we just kind of picked up on because he was scrolling through, looking at stuff, and he's like, wait a minute, she's got more calves? Oh, but the same problem? More calves? And with her urgency and the way she was acting about, no, I got to get them gone. I'm taking them to the market. If you don't come and buy them, they're
today.
going on Monday or something. And kind of, I get it. Like, we're taking the cows to the market.
Yeah.
Cool.
There was also, they had this square on their
You remember that
back,
sticky bit we told you about on the sheep?
Mm-hmm. They had this square of sticky on their back. And it's like, what is that?
Yeah, it was the market tag.
It was a market tag. So when they come into the market, they take glue and a number. They put the glue on the number and they'll just sort of
Stick it on their back
stick
end.
it on their back end. They weren't tagged in their ears, so they just stick a number on them. And these guys had the little glue mark from the market. Anyway, we were, time number 2, we were sort of hoodwinked by livestock.
Yeah, it was a little bit different, but you learn. I mean, if you're not like, if my dad's listening right now or yours, they're like, yeah, that's what the glue is. It's from the from the tag,
market, of course.
But if you're not in that arena, you don't know that. So that's why we're sharing this with you. If you want to buy bottle calves, just know, first of all, they might struggle because you don't know what they got from their mom. You don't know what their real health situation is. It's a gamble.
We had one that would never take a bottle.
No, it wouldn't.
So she sold it as taking a bottle, but it didn't. It wouldn't take a bottle at all. And it ended up dying.
Yeah.
And then we had another one. So that was one of the steers. One of the heifers got pneumonia fairly quickly after she got.
And who knows if they got colostrum? You really don't know. And when you buy bottle calves, even if you bought it from me, I would tell you, I can't guarantee it,
right.
Because they're kind of susceptible.
So this is one of the little calves with Michaela feeding the bottle calf. And
them fighting over it.
Yeah, they're fighting over it. Those two just this year
were processed
into the freezer.
Yep.
They were processed. So we got them in November of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
They just now went into the freezer. They were 4 years old.
Mm-hmm. It takes them a long time.
It takes
especially Angus.
A long time. Yeah. So Kathy says that China thing makes you think, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Bring it back up for you.
Yeah.
Homestead Jude says, unscrupulous people are so annoying. Thanks for teaching about the sticky square. Very useful info. Yeah. It's just when you don't know, you don't know.
And I'm not opposed to buying stuff at the livestock market or taking stuff to the livestock market, though we haven't, but it's a useful tool for sure. Yeah. And if there wasn't any other place to get it, we'd go there and it's just a risk.
Well, one of those bottle calves, not pictured, but an Angus heifer that we bought is now a first calf heifer. She has she's bred back.
Calf.
She had a calf, beautiful calf. That calf now weighs about 500 pounds. Our cow, first calf heifer, she keeps getting out, y'all. She's the one. And
she's an Angus. She's
got it in her to get out. And like all last week, what was it? 3 different times during the week last week when we were putting her back in.
Yep.
Shelley's like, we're taking her to the market. She's going to the market, she says through gritted teeth.
Yeah, I might have said some few other choice words with it. I was not happy.
No.
If you're not going to stay put, and what happens is when one starts getting out, another one will start following.
They learn.
They're herd animals.
Yeah, the ones that are left behind don't like being left behind.
And where are you going? Well, I'm going too. It's like girls to the bathroom. You going to the bathroom? Me too. I'm going with you. Yeah. And everybody gets up and goes. That's how cows really kind of think.
So one of the times that she was out this week, one of our Red Devons that never gets out was out with her, followed her out.
Like, no. Yeah.
And just for your information, if you haven't been tracking beef prices lately, a bred cow with a 500-pound calf on her side that is weaned would probably bring $4,000.
Maybe
$4,500.
So it's not like...
And she's when we talked about last week, how Joel says, who to call when they're old, open, and ornery.
Any of those fit the bill. She's being ornery.
She's being ornery.
And he says, you put wheels under them.
Yep. If they are old, open, or ornery, you put wheels under them and you do it quick. Greg talks about that, especially with his sheep, Greg Judy. If he has a sheep that's getting out, that sheep does not continue to be in the flock.
No. But I don't think he takes them to the market. Takes them to the market.
He takes them to the frying pan.
He relocates them. In case y'all were wondering, when we say relocate, we don't necessarily mean alive. Okay.
They do get moved,
but they have been moved.
That is technically
the definition.
Relocated means that they are moved from this spot to a different spot. There is no insinuation as to its life or death in the word relocated.
You're absolutely right.
So, relocated.
Relocated.
We got a little ewe lamb that is about to be relocated as well if she doesn't stay inside.
Yeah.
She's decided that she's going to get out of whatever enclosement she's put in.
Yeah, we're not going to have, when it's time for the lambs to be processed when they're big and it's like processing time. She's probably going to be big and be processed too.
If she doesn't stay in, she's about to be relocated right now because the other lambs, the other sheep are going to get out with her.
Oh,
We're
she
not
big
gonna
enough to process, like eat?
Yes.
Oh, you think so? There's
Yeah,
enough
it
there?
would- it
I would
would
like
be-
to wait. And y'all, these are the types of conversations that we have. He'll say something and then I'll be like, well, can we think through that?
Right.
Is there enough there to warrant processing her for our food?
Right.
And if that's the case, then fine.
Then we'll do that,
Otherwise,
yeah.
we're going to put up with it and wait just a little longer
Yeah.
because I don't want to lose that.
Yeah. Talking about the cow, Phil says freezer camp. And then Emmy says happy Monday, better late than never, right? Yep. Kathy says moved to the processor, and Nancy says some people call it freezer camp. Yeah. So the reason that we have talked about that for sure with the cow, the reason we would not lean toward freezer camp is that she is currently bred.
Yeah.
She's probably 5 or 6 months bred now. And a bred cow at the market is going to get you a lot of money right now. They just are. And I don't want to process a 5-month pregnant cow. I just don't want to do
No,
that.
nobody does. And, if another rancher or outfit would buy it and add her to their larger herd,
Yeah.
our nation's herd is in kind of a bad place. We're the least amount of cows that we've had since 1951.
And getting smaller.
And getting smaller. So the last thing that we want to do is take a perfectly good cow who just happens to want to get out of the fencing, but to take a cow who does breed, is a good mom, who can make beef for the next 15 or 20 years, and off her simply because she won't stay in the fence. So if we could add her as a bred cow with a calf on her side, somebody's going to take that and go add her to their herd.
Yeah.
Whether we want to put up with her or not, somebody else might want to.
So
Like-
we
she wouldn't
haven't.
go
She's
to
out there
food.
standing and eating with everybody else.
I
We
know.
say words
She's
like
got
that.
the prettiest face.
Yeah,
She's got the daintiest little, like, pretty
and
face.
she's a good mom and all of
I
these things.
know.
And she doesn't normally get out, only when it's spring and fall,
And let's
when
be real.
the food gets...
We suck at culling. We don't cull well because we go, well,
There's reasons.
she's a good mom. She did this. She does that.
Reasons.
So, yeah, we do. We are not good at culling at all. And we should cull harder. But, whenever you're just starting out and you only have a few things, you can't get rid of half of them because you only had 2, and then you don't have 1. And so we try to be somewhat judicious with our decision because we're trying to make beef. And sometimes you just kind of got to go with what you got, right?
And we know our fences aren't the best.
Yeah. So some of it's our fault.
She's just going through a fence.
Oh, now, every time she's gone right back in. She just walks right back. The other day, she was in a whole nother pasture on the other side in some woods. She just walked all the way around with us. And she saw the open gate, went right in, came right in the gate, and was like, oh, thank you for the hay. I don't know. See?
Anyway.
So
at the same time, so what we've covered is we got livestock guardian dogs, guineas, and ducks with about 50 or 60 chickens within a couple of weeks. We got pigs a couple of weeks after that.
Yep.
We got sheep a week after that. And then we got sheep and sheep.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't cover each one of them, but we ended up with about 90 ewes.
Uh-huh.
And then we got our cows.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought 8 from that initial herd and 7 bottle babies.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of those bottle babies died, so we ended up with 13 cows.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we broke ground on our house.
Because at the time, you have to remember, we were living in our 5th wheel, and we had moved into it in June. And this is now, we're up to October.
We didn't start
November.
getting animals until August.
Okay. Well, okay. But at the end of September, we pushed over a few trees for power lines and got our guy out to start working on a road and building. We do have pictures of that, not with us, but maybe next week. So he starts making a driveway out of nothing. Guys, it was nothing but a pasture with some livestock waterers in it. And we would say, okay, I think we want to build it here. And he would go, no, that's a terrible idea. That's going to be a disaster.
So one thing that we learned there is, especially in
the Ozarks,
any kind of hilly type terrain, like I've done earthwork type construction in South Florida where there are no hills. Everything is totally and completely flat.
And sand.
Yeah, and sand. But around here, the way that with all of the hills, we never could get it straight in our brains where things would situate correctly. So what we wanted was a very large, at least for this area, single story, concrete floored building. And
nobody builds that. I mean, it's just rare to see. Honestly, everybody kind of builds a basement and go up because whenever you're on the hillside, that's just the easiest way to do it.
You cut it into the hill and you have half of it
as
under
a basement.
And half of it up. And
he said, do you want a basement? I'm like, no. I want a flat slab with no stairs. We've lived in houses with so many stairs over the years. No stairs. We're going to get old in this house, and I don't want stairs.
So from a land perspective, once we found a contractor that could work with us, and it is a 6,300 square feet concrete pad, and he was willing to do that with us. And then it was where on our property, and when we got our best earthwork guy around, we got him out here and we said, we think we want it right here. And he said, no. And we're like, but that's where we want it. And he said, you could get someone to put it in there for you, but I won't do it.
He said, that'll be a disaster.
It will be a disaster.
We said, okay, we don't want a disaster. Tell us where we can put it. We're going to drive. We have at the time it was 130 acres. We have 130 acres and we're going to put it on this property and you're going to tell us where we can. We're like, where's the best place to do it? Get on the side by side. Let's go find it. And so we found the spot and that's where it is today. And I was like, yeah, and we can make it like this, turn it like everyone faces their house towards the road, right? And so I turned it like that. And he said, no. I'm like, of course not. He's like, actually, it needs to be like kind of opposite what you're doing. And so we said, okay, we were out in the middle of a field. We flagged it off. We flagged it off, said that's where we're going to put it. And he kind of started working.
Yeah.
And digging and moving dirt. He moved dirt and rock for almost 2 months. He did. Yeah. He brought in, it was close to 600 tons of rock, fill rock, and making a road and all of that.
Well, when he started making the road, he had already made this area down here, and he started making the road. Mm-hmm. And he chose a spot that
made no sense.
It was like the edge of a pond that wasn't holding water.
Right.
And we're like, I don't see it, because the pond sort of had a hill that sloped off pretty steep on one side of it. And he's like, yeah, I think I'll make the road right there. And we're like, he was within a couple of days of finishing the road. And I'm like, I don't know how he's going to deal with that pond.
But he did, and it's fantastic. And that road is perfect. I mean, it really is. We've
amazing.
Had some massive flood rain. Yeah. It has not washed out. We've got the proper drainage with the ditches and the culverts and all of that. So, but how did we build it? Well, we didn't have to have a builder.
Well, Anna says, what were the contractor's reasons for the no's?
Oh, well,
he wanted as much virgin or fresh ground as he could, and because there is so much elevation difference in our area, he would have had to cut out a lot or bring fill in a lot, right? Because like the land is sloped like this. So he'd have to fill in all of this or cut out a lot here and fill in a lot here. And this side over here, his fear was that it would end up settling.
Yeah, because you really want to build a house on virgin dirt. Like you're gonna scrape it off and not bring in and build on, because that's gonna settle. You want stuff that's been there for a while and it's all packed down.
Yeah.
And so we found it. He did it here. He had to move. He cut out a bunch, but not nearly.
We didn't have to build up a bunch, which was
we
really
were able to
his
cut out.
concern.
So in the county that we live in Ozark County, it is considered a class 3 county in this country. And there are very few people here. There's less than 10,000 people in the whole county. And when it's so small, you don't have all of the rules and regulations that you do in major metropolitan areas. Now, we're coming from outside of Washington, D.C., so we're totally used to regulations, and we were expecting it. So we go to the building and permit office, and we're wanting to start getting permits to build the house. And they're, Mayberry, seriously, old courthouse. We walk in, and we're like, we're looking for the building permit office, and the lady's behind the desk, and she's like, "Oh, you need permission to build your house?" And we're like, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "You have permission." And we're like, "What?" She goes, "There aren't any building codes here. You don't have to pull building permits. You can build what you want." I'm gonna let that sink in for y'all.
Licenses,
no nothing,
no rules, no regulations,
nothing. Like,
you don't
it's
have to
your
ask
land.
anybody. You don't tell anybody.
Build what you want. And so we did.
So Shelley, we talked about it, and this may be difficult to see, but you guys can maybe come back to it and blow it up if you really care. But this is just a sketch drawing of our house. And if you've seen it in any of our videos or in person, you will know that it turned out looking just like that.
Yeah, it does.
At the far left is the highest part of the barn. We have 16-foot ceilings there, and then we go into a section of 4 bays with 12-foot ceilings, a garage with 12-foot ceilings, and then our house and porch on the far right have 10-foot ceilings. And she drew it out, and that's what we built.
So the reason for that monstrosity is we wanted to have a space. We thought we were going to build a house and a barn. But as we got to looking at it, it was going to be significantly cheaper to just build one unit. You've got electricity going to one place, water going to one place, and
sewer, like the whole thing, the road.
Right. More digging out more dirt, add another pad, not more concrete, but just more. And so, well, what if we did it like this? And we came up with the concept. I drew it out. And the idea that we can have from entertainment at the end of our porch all the way to business in the barn, all under one roof, that seemed magical.
Yeah.
And it's worked. It really has.
Yeah, so that's what we did. And the contractor that we worked with for the concrete also did buildings. And Shelley handed him these 2 drawings.
Drawings.
This is the inside layout of the house portion. And the other was the outside layout of the entirety of the thing.
Yeah.
And said, "Can we do this?" And he said, "Yes, we can."
And it wasn't just a drawing. I did do some scale,
Oh, yeah.
But he was, I'm like, look, I'm many of you maybe have built houses from scratch, but when you're looking at a field and then a bed of rocks and you say, this is what I want to do. And as the person who's drawn up the plans and done the scale, and this is exactly where I want the toilet drain. That's the thing, is whenever it came to stubbing up the plumbing and them measuring off of my drawing, coming out,
Them being me and Dad.
them being you and Dad, your dad, digging up and stubbing up the plumbing. Well, all of us actually were working on that. And then where the walls were going to go in relation to all of it, because the concrete hasn't been poured at this point, we're stubbing it up.
In the middle of a field.
In the middle of a field. And I'm just like, well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the toilet will be where I wanted it. Maybe it'll be in the living room. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll be darned if every single one of them isn't exactly where we wanted it to be, to include the kitchen sink underneath the window where we wanted it. And that was with the plumbing. You know, everything had to line up, because while we didn't use building codes, it's all built to code.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, just because you didn't have to ask for permission doesn't mean you shouldn't build it properly.
Yeah.
And everything was built like it should be.
So we did a bit of a partnership with our builder. Our construction guy got the pad ready. We put in the plumbing, the below pad, below pad, all of the sewer plumbing, and then he came in and poured the concrete in 3 separate pours.
Yeah.
Had the big pumper truck and all this. A lot of concrete. So he did the concrete, and then we worked with him on building the entirety of the building on a time and materials type agreement, where he said, I can't be there every day of the week until I'm finished. And I said, that's fine. When you're not here, can we work? And he said, absolutely. Everything that you do is something you won't have to pay me to do. So that's the way we worked. And we worked with the crew when they were here. And then when they would leave, I would ask the foreman, okay, what's next? What can I have done and ready for you when you come back? When are you coming back? And what can I have done between now and then? And then we would do that. They would show back up. We would work together. And we just sort of worked together until...
It was a great relationship.
Yeah, the building was up and dried in. Like, you know, they stood the walls up on the inside while we were framing or putting in the windows. I mean, you know, like that's the way we worked together. We put up a whole lot of the plywood on the outside, and they taught us how to hang the metal siding. And, you know, like it was just a team effort until it was dried in. And then at that point, the crews left.
Yeah. Yeah, because they weren't cheap, and we got to the I could feel it getting close to the end of having them here, and I told the foreman Barry, I'm like, Barry, I'm going to need you to hurry up, or I'm not going to get a kitchen. So he was like, okay, we got one more day, we'll get it done. One more day, yep, okay, so we got it done, and then it was us, and from that point on, we did the rest of the inside between he and myself and his mom and dad, everything else except for putting in the air conditioner. Because you can't.
You can't buy it.
You can't buy it.
Without the license.
And having our spray foam insulation done.
And the garage door.
Oh, yeah, that too. So there were a couple of things that we let someone else come and do. And
we allowed an Amish crew to do the spray foam insulation. We paid our neighbor's father to
install the air conditioning.
The
air conditioning unit.
We did most of the
we did the
ductwork and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we did the plumbing, we did the electricity, we did the drywall, we did the painting, we did all of the air conditioning ductwork.
Yeah.
Like we did all of that, and we mentioned a couple weeks ago that we moved in basically in July. So it took us that long from the time, you know, we broke ground, pushed the first tree in the end of September, beginning of October time frame, to moving into the house
in June.
Towards the end of June. That's right.
How was it, like Placid?
Oh, that's right. It was beginning of June.
Yeah.
So beginning of June is when I moved in. So that's how long it took us to build the house, and during that time was the building the farm and learning how to raise animals and all those kinds of things.
No, I was at Jupiter. It doesn't really matter to y'all, but I was on vacation.
Yeah.
Which I like to do.
So a couple of comments and questions. Emmy says, what do you do for a storm shelter? We have gone to our neighbor's house a couple of times.
We have gone to our neighbor's house.
And we've gone into our shower.
Our innermost room, which is our shower. It's tiled all the way from floor to ceiling, wrapped around, and we can all fit in there. So, it's not underground by any stretch, but that's the safest place that we have, and it's inner. And
We talk about putting one in. It's not out of the question. We just don't have one currently. So Lisa says, love Ozark County. We were told that we didn't need a permit for our main gate. Yeah, they don't care.
No.
I was really freaked out. One of the things that I was freaked out about the most, I think, was we're going to tie our driveway into the county road. And we're going to push trees along the county road and cut them down and move them out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if anything is going to get us in trouble, it's going to be, we're just going to tie into the road. Nobody cares.
No.
They
really don't.
Nobody cares.
And that's the most refreshing thing whenever you're coming from Maryland, where you should get a permit to check your mail.
Everything. So Angel's Homestead says, I love Shelley's drawing on the Bardo.
Oh, thanks.
Me too.
Yeah, it worked out.
I think it's really cool. And then Emmy says she does too.
Cool. Yeah. So, I mean, so in 6 to 9 months, meanwhile, we did get more cows in February.
We got another group of cows in February from the same guy.
Yeah.
We
just wanted more.
He brought us, 12? No, we went and got them. I think we went and got 12 more maybe.
Yeah.
And grew our herd there. And then it has steadily grown since. We've got about 35, I think, out there right now, somewhere in that range, 34, 35. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hadn't counted them in a minute.
Save they don't leave.
Yeah, well,
let them here out there.
It's funny, even with that many, like when we fed them hay yesterday morning, and, as I drove past them feeding hay, it was like, something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Pull up, stop, and look through them, and it's like, number 9's not here.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know, you get to where you can tell, but like, because we're taking them to the processor throughout the year, and a calf is born and that one goes to the processor.
Yeah.
And it's like,
the numbers
it's hard to keep track.
And the numbers are kind of staying the same right now. Some are coming in, some are going out. So, yeah. Cool.
So Mary says, most rural Missouri counties only require a septic permit, and that is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. This one doesn't. You can have
There are...
two counties over, they're super strict.
Yeah. What I will say is we did not get a permit for the septic, and if you want a permitted septic, you have to get, there are different contractors that you have to put that in. Our guy puts septic tanks in all over the county and is not certified.
Certified septic. Certified install.
To put in the septics. So, but like if we wanted a commercial kitchen, then we would have to get a certified septic.
Yeah.
So I do know that. Patty says, permits California. California says, "Oh my kombucha." That's the truth. Yeah,
that's so true.
Not exactly like rural Missouri here.
No, they're not. No, and we love it here. And that's one of the main things that we like about where we are and what we're doing is the freedom that, number one, obviously our nation gives us, and then the state of Missouri even more, and then to find a county that is a very free county is very, well, free.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, free Missouri.
Robert Gable says, "Hey, y'all."
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Robert. Hadn't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, good to see you. So anyway, that kind of covers that in a nutshell. We hope that you guys have a fantastic week.
Do we want to continue a farm build discussion next week?
We'll see.
We have, in my mind, we have things like, why do we have cow pens?
Oh yeah, we could do that. Okay. More expansion.
Yeah, taking pigs to the processor. How do you load pigs? Why did we build pig pens?
Okay.
We didn't even mention the fact that we have a livestock calming area.
Okay. We'll continue next week with our farm build out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of chronological, we'll go through some of the maybe more like lessons learned.
Yeah. Okay.
And some what we
have
think
and why
are good ideas, and then maybe some lessons learned. Maybe we'll call it Well, maybe we can keep calling it Farm Bill, but it'll be more like
and
good ideas and
more,
lessons.
Anna
learned.
says more dairy, like adding the dairy and while we do some of that.
Okay.
Yes, we will do that. Okay, we'll come up with a plan and we will see you guys back here next Monday night.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Till next time. Bye, y'all.
Have a good week. Bye.